73 out of around 650 online public services are back up as of Monday, after a fire broke out at the National Information Resources Service in Daejeon City last Friday. Police are investigating the exact cause of the fire. Lawmakers are set to vote on the last of 4 contentious bills on Monday, ending the 5-day filibuster at the National Assembly. They're likely to gather again as early as Thursday to take care of 60 other welfare-related bills. Beginning Monday, South Korea is allowing visa-free entry to Chinese tourist groups of 3 or more until June 30 next year, aiming to boost both the tourism and local retail sales. Over 1 million visitors from China are expected to come to Korea by the first half of next year. Even on Monday, the first working day since last Friday's fire at the National Information Resources Service, major government systems remain in disarray. The authorities warn it may take up to 4 weeks for a full recovery. Our Park Hyo-bin starts us off.
Local government offices and community service centers have been swamped with frustrated residents as a result of last Friday's fire at the National Information Resources Service in Daejeon. While some basic services such as issuing resident registration and family relation certificates have been restored, others remain unavailable.
I got my resident registration and family relationship certificate, but the main reason I came was for a fixed date stamp, and that service still isn't working.
The National Intelligence Service raised the National Cyber Crisis Alert level from attention to caution as of 6 p.m. Monday. On the same day, the Ministry of Interior and Safety said that restoring the 96 systems directly affected by the fire will take about 4 weeks as it relocates the data to its Daegu backup center.
We deeply apologize once again to the public. It is expected to take about 2 weeks to prepare the resources and another 2 weeks to set up the systems, but we aim to accelerate the process as much as possible with cooperation from firms already housed at the Daegu Center.
According to the Central Disaster and Safety Countermeasures Headquarters, as of 4 p.m., 73 out of 647 disrupted systems have been restored. Most financial services have also returned to normal, according to the Financial Services Commission on Monday. Meanwhile, police investigating the cause of the fire are focusing on lithium-ion batteries used at the facility. A team of specialized investigators has been dispatched to examine the scene, reviewing CCTV footage and joint inspection records to determine how sparks were triggered and under what conditions the batteries were handled. On the same day, President Lee Jae-myung also instructed Prime Minister Kim Min-seok to minimize public inconvenience and ensure full restoration, while urging thorough checks and fundamental measures to prevent a recurrence. Park Hyo-bin, Arirang News.
Lawmakers are set to wrap up a marathon 5-day filibuster at the National Assembly. The final bill under debate would allow prosecution of perjury during parliamentary hearings, sparking sharp clashes between the ruling and opposition parties. Our Moon Hae-dan has the details.
The 5-day filibuster marathon at the National Assembly is nearing its end, with lawmakers preparing to vote on Monday on the last of 4 contentious bills this plenary session. Since the session opened last Thursday afternoon, lawmakers have passed 1 controversial bill each day. Among them, an amendment to the Government Organization Act, a measure establishing a new Broadcasting and Media Communications Committee, and a revision to the National Assembly Act. Progress has been slow because under parliamentary rules, a filibuster can stretch on for up to 24 hours before a separate 3/5 majority vote can end it. That means lawmakers have been limited to tackling 1 bill per day. The bill now up for debate is a proposal that would allow for the prosecution of perjury committed during parliamentary hearings, even after a committee has ended its work. If the chair refuses or avoids filing charges, more than half the members could approve it instead. And if the committee has dissolved, the chairman of the Legislation and Judiciary Committee would be empowered to act in its place. The DP criticized the PPP's filibusters as wasting golden time, while the PPP condemned the amendment as legislative tyranny.
Wasting the golden time to restore South Korea in this way is a clear dereliction of political duty and a betrayal of the people.
As long as Chumia maintains dictatorial control over the Legislation and Judiciary Committee, South Koreans will have to sit through more needless political farces.
The ballot will bring the marathon filibuster to a close, with the ruling party and its allies poised to use their supermajority to pass the bill. But while the plenary session formally ends on Monday, lawmakers are likely to reconvene as early as Thursday. That's because around 60 welfare-related bills considered as uncontentious remain piled up on the agenda awaiting passage. 문혜련, Arirang News.
President Lee is set to hold a summit with Japan's Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba in the southeastern city of Busan on Tuesday. The president and National Security Advisor Wi Seong-rak briefed reporters this afternoon that Ishiba's trip to South Korea is a return visit following his trip to Tokyo last month and signals a full restoration of their so-called shuttle diplomacy. The two leaders are expected to discuss bolstering cooperation on tackling population decline and revitalizing regions outside their respective capitals, as well as on AI and hydrogen energy. We added that the summit will serve as an opportunity to expand the discussions amid the fast-changing global trade order. Ishiba will be on a two-day visit to South Korea on Tuesday, which will be his first and last trip to Korea as a prime minister. Ahead of South Korea's long Chuseok holiday, which begins this Friday, President Lee visited the National Medical Center on Monday to encourage those working in the public healthcare sector.
이번 추석 연휴를 맞이해서 응급의료 상황이 어떤지 좀 여러분들 의견도 한번 들어보고 싶습니다. 어쨌든 현장에서 고생하신 여러분들, 특히 공공의료에 종사하시는 여러분들 정말로 고생이 많으신데 국민의 의료를 책임지는 사람으로서 매우 감사하게 생각합니다.
The president noted that much of the country's public healthcare system, which had been disrupted by the walkout of medical students and trainee doctors last year, has returned to normal. However, he also stressed the importance of expanding regional healthcare infrastructure and essential medical services, which include emergency care and trauma surgery. South Korea is looking to host more Chinese tourists with a visa-free scheme that will run until next June as a test. Now, on its first day today, businesses are slowly warming up. Our Kim Do-yeon tells us more.
As announced in August, on Monday, Chinese tourists in pre-booked groups of 3 or more enter South Korea without a visa. They're able to stay for up to 15 days, with this scheme running until June 30th of next year. This is expected to increase Chinese tourists visiting South Korea, with levels already on the path to recovery to pre-COVID times. And for those who missed this chance and already entered South Korea, it's an easy way back into the country.
Although I came too early this time and had to get a visa, I definitely will visit more often now because of visa-free program. I had to spend time and money. The food is excellent and the shopping environment is also very good.
More tourists, however, doesn't automatically equate to additional profit. It also equates to fierce competition. For duty-free stores in Korea, it's time to put up their best possible promotions and presents. This favorite K-food bundle pack comes in this bag with the word fortune written in Korean and Chinese on it. It's also red, a lucky color in Chinese culture. Promotions like this kicked off on Monday across the major players in light of the visa-free program. The duty-free stores are now raising their expected number of visitors.
We attracted a cumulative total of 80,000 visitors through August. With the visa-free policy now boosting group tours, we are targeting 140 visitors by the end of the year. To accommodate this, we are renovating our shopping spaces and enhancing experiential content so that customers leave with pleasant memories, not just products.
That optimism is spilling out onto the streets. Here in Myeongdong, stores are also competing to get the best out of the opportunity. And it's not just Korean local stores. Chinese payment system companies like Alipay and UnionPay are working to host more visitors with gifts prepared for those who use their service.
With the visa-free program, our company is hosting events here in Myeongdong. I hope everyone can have a good time and make good memories.
The government is expecting 1 million visitors from China by the first half of next year through this program. In addition, October is a typically popular month for Chinese tourists as it has China's national holiday in it. Last year, the number of Chinese tourists recovered to around 70% of pre-COVID levels. Kim Do-yeon, Arirang News.
A three-day event, the Metropolis 40th Anniversary Seoul Congress 2025 kicked off on Monday, bringing together leaders from 70 cities. The event shares visions for sustainable urban futures. Our Park Jun-han was there.
For the first time since 2002, Seoul is hosting the Metropolis 40th Anniversary Seoul Congress 2025, where leaders will discuss how the world can move toward sustainable cities. Delivering the opening remarks, Seoul Mayor Oh Se-hoon emphasized the South Korean capital's commitment and urged cities to address global challenges, such as the climate crisis and inequality, with people-centered, technology-driven solutions.
Seoul is developing new urban models in areas such as transportation, architecture, and the environment. By learning from and cooperating with each other, cities can create a future that is more sustainable, more embracing, and more human-centered.
A city for people, a city embracing technology, Seoul is showcasing its vision for the future, inviting both its citizens and those from other global cities. At the opening ceremony, Jason Schenker, president of Prestige Economics and chairman of the Futurist Institute, highlighted how Seoul has shown the power of public-private partnerships.
Seoul and Korea offer insights into success. Public-private partnerships have helped this economy. Infrastructure investments are very powerful tools to improving people's life, and innovative social solutions. These can be critical too, like the Stepping Stones program that Seoul has implemented. And then there's futurist thinking, embracing these changes to move forward and win in the future.
The last session of the opening day was the Megacity Dialogue. It featured presentations from leaders of megacities such as Seoul, New York, Tokyo, and Guangzhou, under the theme of embracing cities. On Tuesday, participants will experience the Smart Life Week through exhibition viewing, a market forum, and Smart City Awards ceremony, exploring the concept of an attractive smart city that supports vulnerable groups. On Wednesday, the final day of the three-day event, affiliated members will visit sites to fully experience Seoul's beauty, such as its urban architecture and traditional houses. The tour will also include landmarks such as Cheongdam Bridge and Naksan Park that served as backdrops for the Netflix animated film, K-pop Demon Hunters. Park Jun-han, Arirang News.
South Korea has launched its first Development Cooperation Week, highlighting the importance of partnerships to advance sustainable development goals. The annual Seoul Conference on Official Development Assistance on Monday marks the start of the week-long discussions. Our Oh Soo-young has this report.
How to finance global development in a time of narrowing budgets and geopolitical tensions. That's the challenge faced by governments globally and the theme of the 18th Seoul ODA International Conference, organized by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Korea International Cooperation Agency.
Currently, we are facing a tough environment. Rising geopolitical tensions, growing uncertainty, and even scaling back of ODA by some major donors, all of which make it harder to achieve the sustainable development goals. So against this backdrop, we want to focus on how to mobilize development finance more effectively and how to create innovative partnerships.
The OECD projects a growing drop in official development assistance, with the annual financing gap projected to hit $6.4 trillion by 2030, up from the $4 trillion recorded in 2023.
Official development assistance, ODA, remains a cornerstone of the global financing architecture, particularly for the poorest and most vulnerable countries, in fragile contexts for essential social sectors. ODA plays a unique role in advancing gender equality, protecting human rights, and building climate resilience.
A conference in Sevilla in June saw governments ramp up their commitment to raising the trillions needed. South Korea's Vice Minister Kim Jin-ha said Monday's conference aims to build on the Sevilla commitment, with Seoul determined to actively contribute to advancing the 2030 Sustainable Development Goals.
Our commitment is not only to expand the scale of ODA, but also to improve the quality by sharpening its strategic focus, enhancing effectiveness, and ensuring that our assistance is designed in ways that are both trusted and embraced by our partner countries.
During the sessions, participants highlighted the need to support domestic resources and build public trust and investor confidence in order to unlock additional financing through policy reforms and private investment. The conference is also taking place during Seoul's Development Partnership Week, where government officials and partner agencies from over a dozen countries are participating in events, including a capacity-building program seeking improved coordination and knowledge sharing.
It is how we can improve the effectiveness of our development cooperation through better coordination, transparency, and alignment with our partner country. Korea has built a strong fundamental institutional framework for development cooperation. In terms of ODA, Korea already have the complete package of schemes of loans and grants.
Korea's own experience of transitioning from an aid recipient to a donor country with its rapid socio-economic development within one generation also provides policy examples.
The conversation will continue at the Busan Global Partnership Forum and the high-level meeting of 5 middle-power countries, Mexico, Indonesia, Korea, Turkey and Australia, taking place in Seoul this week. Oh Seong, Arirang News.
Also here in Seoul, Seochogu's annual Seoripul Festival has returned again this year, but bigger and better with an emphasis on music. Our An Sung-jin tells us more.
Seocho is the music. This is the slogan for this year's Seoripul Festival, the signature culture and art celebration of Seoul's Seochogu district. As it celebrates its 10th anniversary, the festival has been rebranded as the Seoripul Music Festival, with the district pledging to put an emphasis on the rhythms of joy.
This fall, one of Seoul's busiest boulevards, Pampodero, has been transformed into a vibrant stage by bringing music and various performances onto the streets.
From classical concerts to traditional Korean performances, the festival offers a wide range of harmonious ensembles for visitors to enjoy.
Marking its 10th anniversary, the festival now adds music to its name to highlight its expanded focus. The festival showcases a full spectrum of music for its visitors.
But the highlight of the festival is the 2,600 square meter sketchbook. The 900-meter stretch of the busy Pampodero Road was closed off so that visitors could use color chalk to draw on the streets, transforming the city into a grand stage.
Everything here is so much fun, and I am very excited to be here. My favorite parts are the largest sketchbook and diverse musical performances. I hope this festival continues.
And Arirang TV also set up a booth to share its dedication for K-pop.
Alongside Arirang TV, which we have a long history with, we wanted to open this collaboration booth to contribute to society.
The annual music festival, which was held over the weekend, attracted some 250,000 visitors in another successful artistic celebration for the district. An Sung-jin, Arirang News.
Time now to take a look at what's been happening in the world of sports. For that, we have our sports editor, Paul Neitz, joining us in the studio. Welcome back, Paul.
Thank you. Hello.
Paul, let's begin with football, and again with Heung-min, because he scored yet again over the weekend.
He did, and that only really tells half the story, though, to be honest, because Son, he scored a brace in a 3-0 LAFC win away to St. Louis City on Saturday local time. He scored his team's second and third goals in what was a Korean derby of sorts, with Jong Sang-bin lining up for St. Louis City. Son's goals meant he'd scored in each of his last 4 games, but 7 goals during that time. Son has enjoyed a hot start to life in MLS and is now on 8 goals and 1 assist in 8 matches since moving from Tottenham Hotspur in the summer. LAFC are 4th in the Western Conference, 4 points behind San Diego in first, but with 2 games in hand, and have already qualified for the playoffs, which begin at the end of October.
Right. Now, moving on to baseball, a home run for Kim Hae-sung of the LA Dodgers. Tell us more.
Yes, in what was the last regular season outing, he hits a 2-run homer to open the scoring in a 6-1 win over the Seattle Mariners on Sunday. It was his first home run since May 31st and 3rd of the season, to go with 17 RBIs and 13 steals in 71 games. His first season in MLB after 8 years in KBO. The postseason begins tomorrow with the Dodgers taking on the Cincinnati Reds in the Wild Card Series. Meanwhile, Lee Jong-hoo of the San Francisco Giants batted 3 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a 4-0 win over the Colorado Rockies on Sunday local time. He ends the year with 8 home runs, 55 RBIs and 10 steals in 150 games.
Paul, speaking of postseason, the KBO season also begins soon as well, right?
Very soon, yes. Sunday, October the 5th. The schedule was announced on Sunday by the KBO, with the regular season to end on Friday. The wildcard series will begin on Sunday with 4th versus 5th. The next phase is due to start on October 8th, with the weather allowing to, of course, and then the second round on October 16th. And the Korean series on October 24th. The Kia Tigers were the champions last year but are out of contention this season. The LG Twins are on the verge of sealing their place in the Korean series. They are top of the standings and need just to tie with the Hanwha Eagles in tonight's game to do so. The Eagles are guaranteed to finish in second, meaning it's just 3rd through 5th that are up for grabs.
Right. And finally to badminton, I have to say An Se-young is human after all.
It seems so, yeah. She finished as a runner-up in the Korea Open. The world #1 fell short of earning title #8 of the year, losing to Akane Yamaguchi of Japan 2-0, 21-18, 21-13. It was An's first loss to Yamaguchi in 4 matches this year. However, there were reasons for the home crowd to celebrate. South Korea won the men's and women's doubles titles on Sunday. Kim Won-ho and So Sung-jae beat Fajar Alfian and Mohamed Shoaib Fikri of Indonesia 2-0, 21-16, 23-21. And Kim Hye-jong and Kong Hee-young overcame Rin Iwanaga and Kia Nakanishi 2-0 of Japan, 21-19, 21-12 for their first Korea Open title together.
All right, Paul, thanks for that as always. I'll see you after the Chuseok break.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
As it rained yesterday, the air became cooler in the morning and evening. Today's morning temperature in Seoul fell to 16.6 degrees Celsius, about 1 to 4 degrees lower than yesterday morning in most areas. However, the temperature in Seoul rapidly rose to 25 degrees, making the daily temperature range in inland areas widen to around 10 degrees. Tomorrow, showers are expected in the Seoul metropolitan area, western parts of Gangwon-do, Chungcheong-do, and Gyeongsang-buk-do provinces in the daytime and evening. The morning will start cool at below 20 degrees in most parts of the country. Daily highs move up to 25 degrees in Seoul, Gwangju, and Daegu, 27 degrees in Busan. More rain is forecast in Jeollanam-do province and Jeju Island starting from Thursday, and it will spread to the Chungcheong-do provinces and the rest of the south on Friday. That's all for Korea. Here are the weather conditions around the world.
That is all we have for tonight. I'm Kim Dami. From all of us here at Arirang, thanks for watching and good night.